Imagine waking up tomorrow and every single human on Earth has vanished. No wars, no traffic, no phones ringing, no cities full of life, just silence. But here's the real question. What would happen to the planet if humans disappeared overnight? Would nature instantly take over? Would nuclear power plants explode? And how long would it take before our greatest cities completely vanished? Let's find out. The first 24 hours. Within minutes, millions of cars would stop where they were. Airplanes still in the sky would continue flying on autopilot for a short time, but without pilots, most would eventually crash. Power stations would begin shutting down. Some would keep running automatically for a while, but without engineers to maintain them, electricity grids across the world would gradually fail. As night falls, cities that never sleep, like New York, Tokyo, and London, would become completely dark. The world would experience the greatest silence in human history. The first week, without people feeding them, millions of pets would struggle to survive. Some animals would escape into the wild, while others would depend on luck. Subways would flood because water pumps would stop working. Factories would shut down, traffic lights would go dark, and communication networks would slowly fail. Meanwhile, wild animals would begin exploring empty neighborhoods without fear. The first month, nature would start reclaiming cities. Grass would grow through cracks in roads. Weeds would cover sidewalks. Birds would nest inside shopping malls and office buildings. Without constant pollution from cars and factories, the air would become noticeably cleaner. Many rivers would begin recovering faster than scientists ever expected. 1 year later, most roads would begin breaking apart because no one would repair them. Bridges would slowly weaken. Many buildings would suffer damage from storms, rain, snow, and changing temperatures. Zoos would no longer exist as animals escaped or adapted to the wild. Forests would continue expanding into abandoned towns. 10 years later, entire neighborhoods would disappear beneath thick vegetation. Steel structures would rust. Wooden houses would decay. Without maintenance, many dams would fail, changing the flow of rivers forever. Wildlife populations in many regions would grow dramatically. The planet would look more alive than it had in centuries. 100 years later, skyscrapers would begin collapsing. Roads would become nearly invisible beneath forests. Most satellites in orbit would eventually stop functioning. Only massive stone monuments, tunnels, and a few carefully built structures would remain as evidence that humans once ruled the Earth. 1,000 years later, almost every modern city would be gone. Trees would cover highways. Animals would roam through places that were once crowded with millions of people. Future intelligent life, if it ever evolved, might discover strange ruins and wonder who built them. Human civilization would become nothing more than an ancient mystery. Final thought. It's easy to believe humans control the planet, but the truth is very different. Without us, Earth wouldn't die. It would heal. Nature has existed for billions of years, and it has an incredible ability to recover. Maybe the biggest lesson is this: we don't own Earth. We're simply one chapter in its long story. If humans disappeared tomorrow, the world would move on, just without us. If you enjoyed this mind-bending journey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Mindscope, and tell us in the comments, what do you think Earth would look like after 10,000 years without humans?